Welcome to Episode 1 in a special online series of Money Smart for Older Adults brought to you by the Elder Financial Safety Center at the Senior Source. The Money Smart course is designed to educate and empower older adults and their loved ones on the financial challenges of getting older. In Episode 1, we will focus on recognizing and reducing the risk of elder financial exploitation, including frauds and scams that target older adults, along with guarding against identity theft. We will also review fraudulent activities related to the COVID-19 pandemic. We want you and your money to be safe during these uncertain times. Let's start by looking at signs that may point to something being a fraud or scam. We'll call these red flags. If someone promises you something like a large sum of money in exchange for you doing something like transferring money or sending prepaid gift cards, that is a red flag. If someone is putting pressure on you to make a decision regarding your finances, that is a red flag. If someone tells you a secret and they say, "Do not under any circumstances tell someone about this," that is a red flag. If you've been told you won something when you did not play or enter, that is definitely a red flag. If someone tells you, "Trust me because we belong to the same church or the same social club, and so we must have the same values," this is known as affinity marketing, and you need to be aware of it because it is a red flag. Finally, if someone says, "I'm the expert, so you must believe what I'm telling you," this can be a red flag. Now let's look at reasons why older adults are targets for financial fraud and exploitation. Many have accumulated income and assets. In fact, more than 70% of all the wealth in the United States is owned by people aged 50 or older. Older adults are trusting and polite by nature, which makes them vulnerable to perpetrators of deception. Some have become lonely and socially isolated. Some are experiencing grief over the loss of a spouse or a loved one. And some are reluctant to report exploitation by a family member or caregiver. Other reasons why older adults are at higher risk for fraud include predictable patterns of behavior. Some fear retaliation by the person exploiting them. Some are unfamiliar with managing financial matters. Some are experiencing a form of cognitive impairment such as dementia or Alzheimer's. And some have just not planned for the loss of decision-making capacity. Let's review a list of today's more common frauds and scams. Telephone, computer, and internet scams, reverse mortgage fraud, identity theft, investment fraud, contractor fraud and home improvement scams, the grandparent and imposter scam, the lottery scam, charity scams, tax and debt collection scams, and telemarketing, direct mail, or direct sales scams. Now let's discuss probably the most common of scams going on today, robocalls. These include the IRS calls, the Social Security account calls. Most of us want to know, when will they end? Probably not anytime soon. In the meantime, let's go over how to deal with robocalls. First and foremost, hang up once you realize it is an automated phone call. Don't trust your caller ID. If the call has any importance, they will leave a voice message. Every time you answer a call from an unknown number, you increase your risk of being a victim of fraud. Do not ever, under any circumstances, send money or transfer funds to someone who said you must do so or else. They're lying to you. Resist the urge to act immediately. They want you to act without thinking or using common sense. Report scam calls to the Federal Trade Commission at this website, donotcall.gov. or by calling 877-382-4357. You can also register your number with the Do Not Call registry, but that is just for companies that follow the rules. Scammers will not observe this list. Another type of scam that is increasing rapidly is the romance scam. It is very easy to connect with people over the internet and develop relationships where they have never met in person. Scammers are using dating websites, apps, and especially Facebook. A sign of this is a person needing money for an emergency. Many cases involve a person who claims to be in the military and they are stationed overseas, so they are unable to meet in person. However, if the victim will send money, then they can buy a plane ticket and meet them at a designated location. Unfortunately, they never show up, and now the money is gone. The victim is left wondering, what happened? Let's discuss identity theft. I want to make you aware of a distinction between identity theft and fraud. Identity theft is using someone's personal information for financial gain without their permission. Oftentimes, this happens by someone they know or trust. Fraud is the use of deception, trickery, or false pretense for financial gain, in most cases by a stranger. Warning signs that identity theft may be happening include: you notice mistakes on bank account statements or your medical explanation of benefits. You notice bills are missing. You are receiving debt collectors' calls or IRS notices. You see payments being declined or medical claims being rejected. And you receive notices of a data breach on your accounts. To protect your personal information, we recommend you take these steps. Review your bank statements, medical EOBs, and your credit report, looking for mistakes and misinformation. Keep your belongings in a secure place, such as a safe or bank deposit box. Do not share your personal information. If you are active online, make sure the websites you visit are secure. Also, update your passwords on a regular basis. You can go to places such as optoutprescreen.com to remove your name from pre-approved lines of credit. Let's look at fraud and the COVID-19 pandemic. With the spread of the coronavirus comes the opportunity for frauds and scams. Based on the scientific evidence, older adults are at higher risk for illness if they contract COVID-19. This formula means older adults are being targeted for things such as vaccines and possible cures which do not exist. Senior Medicare Patrol is an organization that educates the community on issues related to Medicare fraud. They emphasize three main points: protect yourself from Medicare fraud, errors, and abuse, detect potential fraud, errors, and abuse, and report your concerns. Again, the three main points are protect, detect, and report. They recommend the following steps for Medicare beneficiaries regarding the COVID-19 virus. Do not give out your Medicare number, Social Security number, or personal information in response to unsolicited calls, texts, emails, home visits, or booths at health fairs and other public venues. If your personal information is compromised, it may be used in other fraud schemes as well. Be suspicious of anyone going door to door to offer free coronavirus or COVID-19 testing, supplies, or treatments. Carefully review your Medicare summary notice or explanation of benefits, looking for errors or claims for products or services that weren't received. Follow the instructions of your state or local government for other actions you should be taking in response to COVID-19. To find your local Senior Medicare Patrol, contact Jennifer Salazar at 888-341-6187. She is the Program Director for the State of Texas Senior Medicare Patrol. Here's what you need to remember when it comes to protecting yourself from frauds, scams, and identity theft. Screen your calls. If you don't know who it is, don't answer. If it's too good to be true, then it probably is. Verify, verify, verify. Be suspicious of new friends. Never pay up front. If you didn't enter, you didn't win. Sign up for alerts and check your credit report on an annual basis, if not sooner. If you are a victim of identity theft, fraud, or a scam, here's what you should do. File a police report. Notify your financial institutions. Order a credit report. Monitor your statements. Change your passwords. Set up a fraud alert or possibly even a credit freeze, submit a Federal Trade Commission affidavit, and file your taxes early so that no one can use your information to file their taxes. Here's how you can contact the Federal Trade Commission to submit an identity theft affidavit. Call 1-877-ID-THEFT or visit the Federal Trade Commission at identitytheft.gov. If you would like more information about frauds and scams, please contact the Elder Financial Safety Center at 214-823-5700 and press 1, or email us at efsc@theseniorsource.org.